Hey guys, mystery boxes are fun, but sometimes the mystery part goes a little too far. Some kind of pop and some random t-shirt, but who knows what else? Heck, is the rest of the stuff even worth it? If you want a box that caters more to your liking, try Zanini Box. Pins, trading cards, that's it. No cheap add-ons or fillers, just pins and cards that are movie, video game, and comic book themed. With 7 choices of subscriptions, you can customize your experience with a little less mystery and a lot more of what you're paying for. Visit zaninibox.com to customize your subscription now, and you can enter the code CBU20 to take an extra 20% off your entire order and let them know that Professor Bill sent you.
Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Hey, look on that side, Chillmonger.
October 30th. This is the day.
What? What is the day?
This is the day. This is the day that Mandalorian season.
This is the day that we get the way
on Disney Plus. It's gonna be A-OK.
All right, dude. This is the way. That's what I'm talking about.
Ahsoka Tano is here to play.
Hell yeah! And Boba Fett gonna whoop you around the way. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. And Sasha Banks is gonna appear.
That's right. I'm wondering what her appearance is going to be like. Also, Bill Burr is supposed to return for some stuff. Of course, Giancarlo, the awesome actor who kicks everybody's ass. That guy. Holy crap, dude. I can't wait. And remember, we talked about season 3. They're already started writing that. Good. They know. They know that this is a hit, man. Holy crap. I can't wait to see this. Yeah, this is probably some of the best news that 2020 has seen so far.
Well, it's not over yet. We're still 2 months away from it.
Oh God, yeah, and so that means 5 more months of 2020. Jesus, do you think 2021 will get better or worse?
Of course, man. How could it get worse than this?
Oh no, you just asked. Oh, you bastard! You'd be like, no, there's no way it will get worse. It will, of course, get better. But the one thing that you're not supposed to say, guys, it's Chillmonger's fault.
Death count though, can the death count really get worse?
Wow. Like it was already a crappy year with Stan Lee dying, right? And then all of a sudden 2020 comes by. It's like, yeah, it just starts pulling out the anal cavity glove. Oh man, but second season of Mandalorian, October 30th. I cannot wait. Hey, have you started watching The Boys? Did you even watch first season of The Boys?
No, it's on Amazon Prime, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Oh wow. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that because bro, the first season was out of this world. The first 3 episodes have already dropped. I did not watch it yet because the wife wants to watch it with me and she's gotta get in the right mood for that. Women with their moods. It's like it's people, it's heroes killing people. She's like, I know it's really dark. I gotta get in the right place for that. I was like, what do you have to do? Go out and kill a freaking cat? Stay away from Bagel. Anyway. Wow. Okay. So anyway, there's some good TV on right now. I'm saying.
And Batman has been struck by the bug by the 2020.
Mother effing 2020, man! I'm telling you. So Robert Pattinson,
who did a good job in Tenet.
Did he? Did you watch it?
Yeah, he did nice.
Okay. How good was the job? Because I didn't see the movie.
It's I don't know, 9 out of 10. Good acting.
Like that?
Yeah.
His job in the movie, was that good?
Yeah.
All right,
very believable.
Sweet.
I didn't have any Twilight vibes seeing him.
Nice. Yeah, I only remember him from that and from Twilight and Cedric Diggory, Harry Potter 4, which is like, who cares? But there have been a bunch of people saying he's been doing a bang-up, kick-ass job, which is why a bunch of people are saying that I'm wrong, even though we haven't seen him in the Batman yet. And again, it's not just him; it's the movie itself. But anyway. I'm not going to digress back to that.
But if you were upset with him being slim, you would imagine having COVID-19 would bring you even slimmer.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, because I think that I had it, even though I tested negative for it, all those months ago when I was just like, I was unconscious for 2 days, lost my sense of taste and smell. Oh, it was bad. I lost 10 pounds in 2 days. Really bad. But yeah, that'll jack a fool up real quick. Either way, love him or hate him, like his movies, dislike his movies, that really doesn't matter. We don't want to see anyone hurt or dead. We don't want to see stuff like that. So I do hope that he gets better. But Vanity Fair was actually the group to break the story and confirm the story that the Batman set has been shut down again because Robert Pattinson himself actually got COVID-19. So, yeah, that is not a good thing at all. You know who else got COVID-19?
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. Bro, like, when it was just Robert, again, I don't want to see anybody hurt. I don't want to see him or anyone else suffer. Like, that's just not who I am. I don't want to see people suffer. I don't want to see people sick. But man, I thought to myself, when you stay healthy, you're usually in a better position in regards to COVID or anything,
Absolutely.
But now we see The Rock. Now, I would assume this guy is nice and healthy. Now, if he's taking steroids and stuff like that, okay, can't help you, brah. But I would imagine this guy is in seriously good health because he is nonstop running around all over the place. He's got endurance for months. He eats super healthy. You know what I'm saying? He's got a great diet plan. So to find out that this dude and his whole family got sick, they got hit with the 2020? Yo.
He's also 50, right?
Yeah, he is actually. I'm 45. He is a little bit older than me, so he'd be about 50. Yo. I'm saying, man, like The Rock is that living, breathing superhero, Black Adam or not. That's like you see this dude get sick and everybody suddenly gets worried. Everybody starts like, I better check my temperature real quick, man, because if he gets it, I'm going to get it. I don't have a chance.
Yeah, celebrities have like a crazy impact on us that way. Tom Hanks got it first. Like the first big name that I know about, Tom Hanks was the guy.
Same. And I was just like, I don't want him to be hurt. Him and his wife, I don't want them to be hurt. But it's like it's Tom Hanks. I mean, I'm looking at the idea this dude was super healthy.
Oh, that's what you're trying to say? Yeah, well,
yeah.
Anybody can get it. I mean, being super healthy is probably the reason The Rock is going to fight it off and be well.
I hope so.
I think he's over. Yeah. I think he's over the hump. He didn't say I have it, we're screwed. He was more like we've been having it and we're recovering from it and we're fine.
Okay. Yeah, it was like a 10-minute plus long thing, and I'm just like, bro, I got things to do. I'm sorry. I listened to like the first 4 minutes. I'm like, I love you, Rock, but I just, I hope that you're okay. I scrolled forward. I was like, I don't see him crying, so I think we're good.
I fell for this with Kelly Sue DeConnick. I'm not going to fall for it.
Oh my God, twice! Oh, man. So, you want to keep it on WWE for a bit?
Booyaka 619, the father of Dominic Mysterio.
Oh man, he's not even Rey Mysterio anymore. Just the father of Dominic. Are you happy with what Dominic's doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like he's killing it lately. I mean, he doesn't have a good talking voice yet. I don't think Rey ever had a great talking voice himself. As far as like promo wise in front of the camera, I was like, yeah, he's mediocre. Dominic is way worse. Like this dude is just straight green from beginning to end.
But what is Dominic supposed to say? He's in the position to be the nervous, shy, I'm in over my head type character, which he's playing properly. He's not going to be the Undertaker. That is true.
That is true. Okay, I'll give you that. Either way, though, his in-ring performance, holy crap. This dude is just like, he's been working. He is not one of those third or second generations who's just going to be like, that's right, nepotism. I belong here, biznatch. He's like, nope, my dad did not let me. What?
Who is a second generation I belong here? Not Randy Orton, not The Rock, not Charlotte.
Randy's good. Charlotte's good. The Rock is good. There's been a bunch of people who are really good. Names. Natalia, they're really good. There's a bunch of people who are good. But no, there's a bunch of people who just showed up. Case in point, third generation Curtis Axel.
He's good.
He's all right. I didn't notice anything great about this dude.
So what's he lacking at?
Not even just the idea of a push. Like the dude's just, he's not on TV, not being hired by anybody. Any of his stuff that I've seen, indie stuff, it's okay. Like I haven't seen, I think that he mostly got his position and whatnot because he's the son of Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, son of Larry the Axe Hennig. I think it's Larry. Anyway, I don't know. I just don't see a whole lot from him. Bray Wyatt, I see some good stuff there. Bo, his brother, these are the sons of Barry Windham. I'm not seeing too much there. I'm not seeing too much from Bo. Bo is good in NXT?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. I don't really watch NXT. That's the problem. I don't know, man. Like every so often a second generation shows, Stan the Man Hansen, his son. I can't remember his name, but he was in WWE like on 2 occasions. He went someplace, I think TNA, and he wasn't really that impressive.
Oh.
You know, there's a lot of people who are second, third generation who just not that great. You know.
Okay, but Rey
Anyway,
Mysterio's got a cartoon on Cartoon Network. It's gonna be in Espanol.
yeah, Cartoon Network Latin America. So I don't know if it's going to come to regular Cartoon Network. If it does, it's probably going to have a translator. But and Rey Mysterio could do the voice for that one also, because I mean everybody knows his voice. So that is really cool though. But yeah, this was actually announced at a surprise panel at 2020 Pixelati Festival, Cartoon Network Latin America. Rey Mysterio cartoon, Booyaka 619. So I'm looking forward to actually seeing this. That actually looks like it could be a whole lot of fun. Is actually going to be using his real name, Rey Mysterio. I'm impressed by that.
His real name. Is this you trying to do a segue into the next topic with real names?
Yeah,
and
I'm not as good with segues as you are, but
Oh.
I tried. I just tried my hand on that one.
Well, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, apparently. Well, let's read the actual quote here. It's furthering my comments last Sunday. This is sent to all the talents. He goes, furthering my comments last Sunday regarding the reinvention of our product. It is imperative that we promote and protect our brand in every conceivable way. Some of you are engaged with outside third parties, using your name and likeness in ways that are detrimental to our company. It is imperative that these activities be terminated within the next 30 days.
So that would be by October 2nd.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the way he words it, it is imperative that these activities be terminated. He doesn't tell you
detrimental.
You have to do it. Huh? Yeah,
detrimental.
Right?
Oh no, he does, because he says that there will be punishments. He says
Continued violations will result in fines, suspensions, or termination at WWE's discretion. These actions are necessary in order to rebuild our brand in the next phase of WWE.
Yeah. So let's get this straight. The poorest the poorest billionaire on the block in Connecticut, this poor little baby, is trying to steal money from more people. You know, some of the only ways that some of these guys were able to get over or actually use what they're doing. These are, mind you, these are independent contractors. And Vince McMahon is saying, you know, here's the funny thing. You know what TNA Impact, when you had the broken Hardy gimmick and Matt Hardy's brother was Willow and all that, and they came over and they're like, oh, we're not going to let you use names, and people screamed, and TNA was like, okay, you know what? We're going to let you use the names. We're not going to hold a trademark to anybody. And Vince was like, awesome. I'm not doing the same. And not only that, but I'm also going to say that I own your real name as well.
Yeah, that's the part that throws me off, because if you're telling Lana, whose name is CJ Perry, that you can't be Lana on social media and make money, or you tell Big E that you can't do birthday wishes on Cameo, where he goes, "This is the WWE superstar Big E. I want to give a happy birthday to Aaron." If you want to tell him that, I mean, they agreed to this stuff. They agreed that you own this name, this likeness, this character. Same with like Undertaker or Stone Cold, anything. But once you start saying we own your real name, that's where I disagree. I guess John Cena doesn't have a character name and a real name.
Exactly. So, yeah, I was going to bring up John Cena because he's talked about this before, that John Cena is his actual real name, same as his father, John Cena. And he's like, and they said, are you sure you want us to copyright your real name? He's like, yeah, I just want to be me. So his name is technically copywritten. He's got to stay in the good graces of the WWE and fork over a percentage to people in order to, whatever. After the original G.I. Joe movie, the first time that Vince really started to have some idea of the toy merch business, because, we'd seen it with Hulk Hogan with Thunder Lips and stuff like that. But all of this was actually before he'd come over. Rocky III was actually before he really came over hardcore to WWE. He was still with AWA at the time. What do you call it? Was Sergeant Slaughter with the G.I. Joe, the reboot, and he had a toy. There was some merch coming in, a lot of merch money coming in, and Sergeant Slaughter was actually making some cash. And Vince called him into the office and said, listen, I'm going to need a percentage of some of your merchandise revenue because, you're technically using a WWE gimmick and all that stuff. So any of those Sergeant Slaughter toys that get sold, I'm going to need a kickback. I heard the number 5% come out, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was more. I would imagine that the first offer would be more, and then he'd be like, I'll work him down. It's like, I wasn't paying you anything. You're not going to work me down from anything. That's exactly how Sergeant Slaughter thought. And he's like, I'm not giving you anything. And he walked out of the office, and that was that. And he still continued working for the company for a while. Then he left and he went someplace else and he came back and, all that good stuff. But he never gave him one red penny. And you got to love Slaughter for that, man. He's, back in the day, you're talking about those no joke wrestlers when wrestling was real, just when wrestling was wrestling, not sports entertainment. But these, Vince, like, somebody, like I kept on saying to you, somebody come get your mans. Whose mans is this? Because like this old man, he's done lost his marbles. If he thinks that he's going to start telling, like, you're going to get, it was one thing. He already got rid of, Long Island Ice Tea. What's his name?
Zack Ryder.
Yeah. I have Matt Cardona in my head. Yeah. Zack Ryder. He's got to be Matt Cardona now because that name is licensed. So, he made him cancel. They tried to take over his YouTube channel before. He made a new YouTube channel. He's the $1,000 broski that he's buying figures and stuff like that. Him and who's his partner again?
Brad Myers.
Yeah, Brad Myers. What's his stage name again?
Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Hawkins. Thank you. I only know him by Kurt Hawkins. These two, they've got their own wrestling figures now, independently through their own channel, which is hot. Like these guys, they're not clowning around. They've got non-WWE related tables to smash through, ladders to jump off of. They're going to start making a ring pretty soon. Like I'm saying, these guys, they're making money for themselves, and that's awesome. WWE would be trying to, squeeze in on that right now. Up, up, down, down. Of course, we got to talk about that with Xavier Woods.
Well, it's not with Xavier Woods. It's with Austin Creed.
But since they own his real name, according to Vince McMahon.
His real name's Watson, not Creed.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I always thought it was Creed. I guess he had a name on top of his name to make
Rocky.
His new name.
The nickname is from a Rocky movie. He's trying to pay homage.
Apollo Creed, yeah. But yeah, man. Like, what is he going to do? He's going to have to go through. Maybe these guys are going to have to go through a next name, another name.
This is the moment we've been talking about for 33 weeks. It's put up or shut up time. Are these guys female genitalia, or will they actually have a backbone like CM Punk is tweeting? Guys, you'll be fine. Andrew Yang is tweeting them too. Like,
thank you. Yes, Andrew Yang is getting on this. Like, that's the stuff that's crazy about this, man. I'm glad that you checked into that. So
yeah,
I've got
be on Squared Circle Reddit every now and again. It was like the top voted thing for 16,000.
Was it?
Things don't usually get that much upvotes on Squared Circle. 2,000 is usually the top.
So let's read from Andrew Yang, former presidential candidate. If I'm not the Secretary of Labor, this is I can't see the date on this. Anyway, this is like 2 days ago. If I'm not the Secretary of Labor, I'm pretty confident I'll have his or her number to talk to the ridiculous classification of WWE wrestlers as independent contractors while controlling their names and likenesses for years, even for something as benign as Cameo. Come on, Vince. You've already deprived folks breaking their backs for you of healthcare, security, recovery time, retirement benefits, and fair treatment, licenses and royalties. At least let them make a living off their own names. Many of them need it. Now he continues, and this is where I'm just like, just by him saying that, I'm like, this guy seems to know a lot about wrestling.
He must be a Cody Rhodes fan.
You might be. He says, I grew up a wrestling fan, and it's been sad to see so many of my childhood heroes pass away early. I'd feel better knowing that they and their families were being fairly treated. I look forward to doing what I can for the next generation of performers. I know how tough it is. I don't know if he knows how tough it is. I've never seen him in a ring. But nonetheless, whatever, I'll go for it. Vince, you better hope your old friend Donald wins because change is in the air and changes are long overdue. Where your corrupt labor practices are concerned, it would give me great pleasure. The people know. Wow. This dude brought Andrew Yang out of the damn woodwork.
Well, it's very politically motivated. It's the association with Donald Trump that Vince McMahon has.
Yes, because his wife was Secretary of Small Business and Administration for a while. And she's the only one who got through without a hitch, the only one that nobody complained about, the only one who wasn't mired in any kind of controversy. So like that's saying a lot. I'm trying to say good and bad. I'm trying to, be even with this. But Vince McMahon legit does like he would be a slumlord. If he was a landlord, he'd be a slumlord. This is literally what WWE is a trash company. I haven't said that in a while, but here it is again, man. This dude, you can't even let people try and make money on the side. Independent contractors talking about, I own you, but you're independent wrestlers, and I'm not going to give. Therefore, you're not entitled to benefits and retirement and stuff like that.
And let me interject with, they allow this to happen.
Yeah, I know. I think we know your stance by now, which is fine. Here's the thing. Never before have I seen so many people jumping out the woodwork to scream, it's now time to start talking about going over to AEW.
No. They're not doing that. They're subtly tweeting, nope. And then Paige changes her name to Saraya instead of Paige WWE. That's what's happening. Everyone's just fixing up their names. Those who haven't already.
Mm-hmm.
Even then,
if there is that her real name, Saraya?
Yeah, Saraya Jade Bevis.
Okay. I just wonder though, like if he's saying that he owns their real names, like maybe he's bluffing, maybe he's got something in a contract that I think I can argue with this with my lawyers. Either way, all the money that Vince has, all the lawyers at his disposal, without help, these guys don't have a chance of winning.
I think you have a chance of winning with your real name. I don't even need a lawyer for that one. It's like, my name is my name. You cannot do anything about that.
Do you know how many people do you know how many times I've seen people walk into a courtroom and they're like, yeah, I think I'm going to defend myself. It's like, you notice that there's never a single trained lawyer who defends himself, and yet you want to defend yourself. I have seen that so many times. Like, wow. Abraham Lincoln was a lawyer, and he said any man who tries to defend himself in a court of law proves he's a fool. So no, I think you would definitely need a lawyer, especially when you're going in against a rich scumbag like Vince McMahon.
So is that because the emotions that you would have is like a doctor can't treat on his own family member is one of those things?
That could be one of the aspects there also. It's just the idea, like if you're not trained to be a lawyer, boom. Plus, if even if you are a lawyer, it's like how do you look at your own case rationally? It's just like when I always say in my comic book reviews, don't ever be your own editor. Never be your own editor, because you're looking at your work as the writer. You can never look at it as an editor, even if you're a trained editor, because you wrote it. So let a fresh pair of eyes look at it.
Or 4 pairs of eyes if you're Wolverine.
4 pairs?
Yeah, there were 4 editors on that book.
Well, I guess if that's what it takes. I mean, Wolverine's in like 4 different comics right now. Why not have 4 editors on his book, right?
I'm so sexist. I said if a doctor can't, and then I said his patients instead of like his or her.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's more than just him and her. There's they now, so there's a lot. I think that it's fair to just in general use his as a general terminology. I mean, there's
his for nurse.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. That's actually good introspection, though. There's an old feminist joke that's out there. The suffragettes used to use. They'd say, "Check this out. A doctor." No, wait. Yeah. Okay. Boom. A father and son are driving, and they get into a car accident. They get into the car accident right on the state line. An ambulance from this state comes, and an ambulance from this state comes.
Mm-hmm.
One ambulance takes the boy, one ambulance takes the father, and they drive off to separate hospitals.
Oh my God.
The doctor comes walking in and sees the boy laying there unconscious, and he says, "I can't work on this boy. He's my son." How is that possible?
The doctor says, "I can't work on this boy. He's my son." Well, that's because the doctor is the mom?
Yes.
Huh.
The question is, if I didn't tell you this was a suffragette joke or riddle, would you have actually gotten that one? Exactly. Because, oh man, I used to get people hard on that one. They'd be like, oh, it's to show that there are a lot of people who can't imagine a woman being a doctor. Meanwhile, most of the doctors out there right now are females.
The movie Tenet takes advantage of that. Not exactly doctors, but something like that.
Okay. I gotta go to movie theater to see this.
Yeah, this is actually in the theaters. It was in Canada a week already, but it's just releasing in the USA, except for California and other states. There's some states where they just don't have any theaters open
because they're a little bit smarter.
No, they had them open once upon a time, and they reopened really soon.
And they paid for it, I'm sure. Oy. What was I just gonna say about movie theaters? Oh, Mulan. Just a really quick thing. Mulan is available now on Disney Plus, but only if you have Disney Plus and you pay that extra money. However, starting December 4th, it's going to be free to anybody who's a subscriber of Disney Plus. So I'm not going to complain. So that's September, October, November. So you got 3 months where you can buy it early, or you just wait the 3 months and then boom, you get it automatically with your subscription.
I'm gonna have Disney Plus for Mandalorian during that time, so if I want to see Mulan, I'll watch it then.
There you go. Yeah, same with me. Because my wife was like, I want to see this really bad. We wound up watching the cartoon instead because I was like, we're not paying $30 for this thing. We're not paying $30 for this thing. It's not going to happen.
Would you pay $10 for it?
No, I already paid $10 for Disney Plus. No, I'm not interested in doing that. But there are people who will, people who are willing to support it, and I'm cool with that. I would be willing to pay $10 for Black Widow. I don't know if I'm willing to pay $30 for Black Widow.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's a price. We're talking about wrestling, right? Yeah. Everybody's got a price. Ha ha ha! $1 Million Man. Had to do money. Had to do my voice. I got the $1 million belt. Andre the Giant just gave me the tag team championship. That's actually a joke because Andre actually gave him the heavyweight championship, but he called it the tag team championship. Andre wasn't perfect. Come on. So what else we got?
Fisher.
Yeah, we're gonna break into a different kind of Rey instead of Rey Mysterio, Rey Fisher. So there's
the pause between Rey and Fisher. That's what that was about.
Nice. I'm good. I got you, bro. Okay. So this is a son of a gun, bro. Okay. So I just happened to look on September 4th at Rey Fisher's Twitter. I follow him and everything, but just I happened to check and boom, there it was. So he says, so you can better understand how deep this goes. After speaking out about Justice League, I received a phone call from the president of DC Films. No name was dropped. He was very professional about this. And I'll welcome a challenge to that if you want. Wherein he attempted to throw Joss Whedon and and John Berg under the bus in hopes that I would relent on Jeff Johns. I will not. A is greater than E. So the accountability is greater than entertainment. Wow, that's a hell of a big statement. Well, DC, do you want to jump in for a moment or no?
No, I got really no strong opinion even when you finish this.
Oh, wow. That's a shame. Okay, but anyway, I say that it's professional only because you have to keep something like this in the news. You have to, because just like the WWE talent versus Vince McMahon and his team of lawyers and all these other guys who are going to cater to his wishes, there's only but so much that you can do, against a large entity like that. And sometimes the court of public opinion is your best bet to try and get, people on your side. So it's like, hey, you have all this money. What if I were to say you have to respond to this, otherwise people are going to start taking sides, and then you're going to lose revenue. Sometimes realistically, that's the only way you can ever hit back at rich people. So I think it was very professional that he didn't say anybody's name. However, DC finally made a public response. The Warner Brothers full statement is below, is right here. I'm getting this off of Deadline.com. In July, Ray Fisher's representatives asked DC Films president Walter Hamada, so that's the name that he didn't mention. They dropped some names. Walter Hamada to talk to Mr. Fisher about his concerns during the production of Justice League. The two had previously spoken when Mr. Hamada asked him to reprise his role as Cyborg in Warner Brothers' upcoming Flash movie. So maybe, like, I know that, people have talked, this was rumored that this might happen, but maybe this is also one of those situations where it's like, hey man, give you some more money, but you might have to drop some stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading into this. I don't know. So I'm being honest about my objectivity on this. Together with other members of the Justice League, in their July conversation, Mr. Fisher recounted disagreements he's had with the film's creative team regarding his portrayal of Cyborg and complaining that his suggested script revisions were not adopted. Mr. Hamada explained that creative differences are a normal part of the production process and that a film's writer-director ultimately has to be in charge of these matters. Notably, Mr. Hamada also told Mr. Fisher that he would elevate his concerns to Warner Media, so that's the parent company, so they could conduct an investigation. At no time did Mr. Hamada ever throw anyone under the bus, as Mr. Fisher has falsely claimed, or render any judgments about the Justice League production, in which Mr. Hamada had no involvement, since filming occurred before Mr. Hamada was elevated to his current position. While Mr. Fisher never alleged any actionable misconduct against him, Warner Media nonetheless initiated an investigation into the concerns he'd raised about his character's portrayal. Still not satisfied, Mr. Fisher insisted that Warner Media hire an independent third-party investigator. This investigator has attempted multiple times to meet with Mr. Fisher to discuss his concerns, but to date, Mr. Fisher has declined to speak to the investigator. Warner Brothers remains committed to accountability. They're actually using his own words. And to the well-being of every cast and crew member on each of its production. It also retains one sentence left. It also remains committed to investigation of any specific and credible allegations of misconduct, which thus far Mr. Fisher has failed to provide. Wow.
Even they're like, all right, Ray, just say it. Just go out and say names and say name incidents.
No.
Yeah, they're not. He's not even being credible.
I can see where you're coming from. Yes, it seems like they're calling him out that he hasn't said anything credible yet. So maybe they're trying to call his bluff. I'm not sure. Maybe they're pretty sure of where they're at. There's also a matter that that Mr. Fisher has brought up several times, and that is the NDA. So according to the non-disclosure agreement, they're saying, he hasn't brought up any other things. Meanwhile, if they're saying, mind you, there's a non-disclosure agreement. You screw up, we break you. So
they're just playing the role of evil corporation.
They could be. They could be.
The bad guy. The guy with the most money is usually the bad guy.
Usually the bad guy, right? Let's be realistic. Let's just be honest for a hot second. Mind you, none of this is coming from Warner Media. That's the AT&T purchased, Warner Brothers stuff. It's not coming from there. This is important because they finally spoke, meaning Ray's finally getting someplace. So here. Ray responds, "Thank you all for the support and for seeing through he tags at WB Pictures, desperate and scattershot attempt to discredit me, to continue protecting those in power. I met with the investigator via Zoom on August 26th. Excuse me. Below is an email I sent to my team and who is this? Altria thing. Somebody else. Oh, the Actors Union. SAG AFTRA. So the Actors Union. Okay, so
the Screen Actors Guild.
Yes, boom, there you go. So he says, "Hey crew, just got off the line with the investigator. Had to end the interview early before going into detail with him. He's definitely been put on the case by Warner Brothers Pictures, not Warner Media. His findings will go directly and solely to Warner Brothers Pictures legal. He also had another person on the line as a witness, which we weren't made aware of. I told him I needed to have a rep on the line as security for myself. He tried to keep me on the line, but I told him I would need to consult my team before proceeding. Can we jump to a call discussed soon? Best, Ray." Wow, that's big. Also, in the second part of that tweet, he says, "It's also worth noting that I made it clear to the world on August 21st, so a couple days before that I would be vetting the investigator to ensure a fair and protected process for all witnesses. WB Pictures," he tagged at WB Pictures, "has escalated this to an entirely different level, but I'm ready to meet the challenge. A is greater than E." And then he tags his one step at a time. This looks like it could be Twitter, it could be Instagram, I don't know, but it's him walking around outside, sweat clothes, a red bandana. He's obviously in the Bloods now. I'm joking. And he's got a mask on because, yeah, he's being careful. And it's actually a 44-second clip. It's very short, where he's just basically talking about, "Hey, so check it out. I'm pretty sure that they're going to send a lower level investigator, like an investigator for them. I want Warner Media to set up an independent third-party investigator, not an investigator who's working solely for them, the Warner Pictures, because then they're going to use this to present their case to Warner Brothers Media, which is the parent company." So the guy's smart. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he
He's
went
covered
to
his
war.
tracks.
Exactly. He didn't start this thing and just like kind of step into it. He probably thought it out thoroughly and knew what emails were going to be made, and he talked carefully.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got some kind of legal representation, probably through SAG, which, yeah, either way, like, he knows what he's doing. I'm happy at this. When Warner Brothers finally spoke out against him, I was like, oh shoot, he better respond quick, and he did. So he's not running scared. Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm really impressed by this guy. I'm impressed by what he's doing. He is standing up, not just for himself. He is doing this as a larger thing because, let's face it, like I said, when you have a big corporation, you get called into their office. There's probably multiple people in there. They're the ones writing information down. They're the ones asking the question. They ask if you have anything to add after this. It's all them, and you feel like the little person. And it's scary because they could fire you at any time for any reason. And the joke is always, yeah, but you have the right to quit for any reason. And what do I gain for this? You also make me sign, there's a lot of companies that make you sign an NDA yourself, that there's a no compete clause. I know my engineering jobs, and working in a freaking Costco. You're not allowed to work for any other warehouse club or start your own business for the next 6 months. Why? Plus, isn't that how Jim Sinegal, the former owner of the founder of Costco, isn't that how he founded Costco? Was because he worked for Price Club for all those years, and then while he was still working there, he made his own business. Interesting. And that's what the super wealthy do. They find doors that were never opened before, and then they shut them down and burn the bridges so nobody else can use those same loopholes to not even loopholes, those same methods, those same paths, to themselves potentially be rich, because that would be competition for them. Typical. That's really all I've got on that. I'm actually really, I don't know who I am, but in general, I'm really proud of what Fisher is doing. So,
reminds me
yeah.
of what Boyega's doing. With
you were
his
saying
interview
something
with
like
GQ
that
recently, he was talking to them. It's all online, but he calls it out. He calls out that his character was not treated with the same love and respect that Rey and Kylo Ren were. And then he goes, you can even ask Daisy and you can ask Adam. They know this. It's not a secret. I'm just saying it. But everyone knows what happened to Rey. Movie to movie, his character just diminished. And don't just put a person of color, as he called it, which is a term I hate, because white is a color too. And it continues the legacy of signs that said this washroom is for colored and this one is for whites. It's honoring that and resuming to use the language. But anyways,
yeah,
you don't
I
just
agree.
put a woman
Black and brown people, right?
For the sake of a woman. What's brown? Is that Mexican?
It could be Latino. It could be Indian. Desi people. I guess it could be Native people. I would imagine they're also trying to include, because like you could say black, brown, white. You could even call natives reds. We don't care. You can never really call an Asian person yellow, right? It's like it's a weird thing. It's the one color you can't say. But anyway, black, brown, Asian, I think is what they usually. I don't know. It's hard to like say. Non-white, right? Just non-white
Bingo.
People. Yeah.
So you don't just put a woman character or an Asian character just because, and really not have anything to do with them, which is clear in episode 9. There was no plan for Rose Tico.
Yeah, we talked about the Rose Tico situation before, where like that's embarrassing. That like, why was she even in the movie if you're not going to do anything? I mean, what, you just need to be like, oh, she existed, but that's it.
It's space. You want diversity? Give me aliens.
Yeah, I guess, but like at the end of the day, what was John Boyega's character? What was Finn? What was it? You know what I'm saying?
The janitor.
I loved his character in that first movie. I thought it was really cool. I couldn't wait to see what they were going to do with it next. I really wanted to see him and what's the ace pilot's name?
Poe
Dameron. I want to see what him and like these characters are so non-memorable to me. You know what I'm saying? I never forget Rey Skywalker, Rey Palpatine, whatever you're going to call her, Rey. I never forget her. But the other three main characters, I can't even remember their names. They're so useless. It's a shame. So yeah, I really wanted to see where their relationship was going to go. I didn't know what the hell happened in the second movie. The third movie was all of it's just,
What happened was 3 different writers for 3 different movies. And that was the actual plan. Do whatever you want.
Right? Yeah, I know. Whatever it is.
Right.
Just the idea that they're all like, oh, well, we're going to try and make these movies non-canonical. Kind of late for that, bud. Kind of late for that. Anyway, yeah.
Just like Kelly Marie Tran, Elizabeth Olsen left social media also. She left her Instagram account, and there may be a connection to Chadwick Boseman's death. Like everyone asking her in the comments, you have to say R.I.P. You have to acknowledge him. Do the tribute. And she's like, enough's enough and it's time for a change. And then she just deleted her Instagram. I think that's what happened. Like she hasn't like commented on it, of course.
Yeah. This is the Scarlet Witch character for anyone who's not familiar. Elizabeth Olsen. The Olsen that's not a twin. Well, yeah, I'm telling you, man, this is social media. This is outrage culture. This is all this nonsense that I'm just so ridiculously sick of. This, they're in many ways, it's kids. Sorry, get off my lawn. Gran Torino reference there. It's kids judging the older generations as harshly through the worst kind of lens you possibly can. It's like they were different times. I lived in a very, very, very different time and a different place than I feel most people have, just everybody has different life experiences. And the idea that they want to have this one stream, it's like you worked with Chadwick Boseman, so you have to, say RIP. You have to do this. There's a certain level of things you have to do since you knew him. Excuse me, you didn't know him. You don't even have why do you even have a voice at this point? Just because we have the freedom of speech doesn't mean we should all use it.
And then Elizabeth Olsen says, yeah, you don't have a voice. And she says, no more Instagram, and it goes away. Just like that.
I love it. So yeah, I'm down with that. And she's a very cool person. You know, when you see her behind the scenes stuff on YouTube and whatnot, she is such a cool person.
You see the video where she took the House of M, no more mutants, and she...
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was great. Did you
She
see the
says...
one where her and where Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans were doing their thing, like with the last pink frosted donut?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, you've got to see that, dude. I'll show you that afterwards. That is hysterical. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to rain a holy fire terror at you. They were building up on the Civil War, Captain America Civil War thing.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen was just there looking which way, and then she dropped her plate of whatever and just screamed, "Ah!" And they started laughing. It was great. Yeah, behind the scenes, she seems like a very incredible human being. So the idea that people are going to tell her you have to do this and that, shut up, die in a fire. Literally, the best thing these people can do is just go die in a fire or
Black
something.
Panther comics are now available
Like that.
on Comixology, and I have
Hold
to
on
ask,
now. Hold on. You're bothered by that so much that you're rushing through a very important segment here, because you know DC Fandom is coming up. Part 2 is coming up on September 12th. But one of the things that happened in DC, and this is apparently not going to be live. It's going to be, hey, just go ahead and pick through what you want to see. But one of the things that we talked about in the previous DC Fandom, the first one, just last month, was I got Jay Lee stuck in my head. Jim Lee, that one, that J letter instead of J-A-E Lee, it's Jim Lee. He'd said that DC is going to be hiring a manager to come by and start doing a bunch of cool things. And I pointed out, based on the job description that they'd given, or that he'd given, that it was going to be a guy who was going to basically do the job of a CEO or a publisher, you know, like Jim Lee is, except actually qualified to do all those things. Well, you know, they found a guy. Did you see that?
No, tell me.
Oh, well, let me tell you. So this guy, he is DC's management, basically doing Jim Lee's job. Warner Brothers Company hired Daniel Cherry as Senior VP and General Manager of DC Comics. He is going to be in charge of business affairs editorial, talent services, marketing, sales, and brand direct-to-consumer content. Also heading up business development strategy with Ann DePies, who is the current Senior VP of Business Strategy, Finance, and Administration. These are all things that a CEO, not a CEO, well, whatever, including a CEO or a publisher, you know, somebody in Lee's position would do. These are probably things that Dan DiDio did. But again, Jim Lee is over his head, so he's really just there to draw pictures and be the face of the company, which, cool. There are worse faces to have, but the guy doesn't know what he's doing. So I went and I looked up his LinkedIn profile. He graduated from the University of Pennsylvania. He currently works at DC Comics, 500 plus connections, general manager, senior vice president, DC Comics. He's already put that in. He comes from an extensive sports background. That is interesting. He was general manager. He was chief marketing officer for Activision and Blizzard's esports, which is responsible for a global Activision global competitive strategies. He was chief marketing and innovator for three-time Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils and the Prudential Center Arena. Consumer research and planning for Diagino NA. Previously, he had the honor of relaunching and serving as the chief marketing officer for the legendary soccer club, the New York Cosmos, and which was made famous by Pele, probably the most famous soccer player ever in history. Served as marketing partner and director of brand managing at Adamali. So he worked on global brands like Converse, Umbro, Cole Haan, Budweiser, and Motorola. Like, this dude's got so much stuff. He worked on the Grammy-nominated 2007 Nike song, Classic, so Better Than I've Ever Been, featuring Kanye West, Nas, Rakim, and KRS-One. And like it just goes on, man. Red Bull, Toyota Scion, the Nike Glacial Vitamin Water, Ride Snowboards. This guy's been all over the place. So I'm impressed.
Yeah, but can he write a good story?
Oh, he doesn't have to write. He's not a writer. He's not a writer. So he's going to be handling all of the behind the scenes stuff, all the really important stuff that somebody in Jim Lee's position is supposed to do. I just hope he's getting paid as much. You know what I'm saying? For what he's doing. But no, this is good. This is a guy who genuinely seems to know what the hell he's doing, or he's really good at writing a LinkedIn profile.
All he's got to do is make movies and he'll make money. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Not Birds of Prey, right? Like, do a Flash movie, a Green Lantern movie.
Don't do it.
Aquaman worked. Joker worked.
Joker worked.
Birds
Shazam.
of Prey didn't.
Nah.
Shazam
Wonder
didn't
Woman.
make that much money.
Shazam didn't make that much money? That's a shame.
It's
still a great movie.
On a $100 million budget.
Wow. This is where you would say, well, they made their money back. But nobody wants to break even.
If it makes 3 times the budget, it's considered financially successful. Well, maybe not successful is the word.
No, not successful.
I don't want to do last week. Moving on to, can I talk Black Panther?
Let's do DC's Endless Winter really quick because there's like nothing there. The new event coming out of DC Comics is going to be DC's Endless Winter. A lot of people speculating on this stuff. Comic Uno from Comic Uno. Kat Kamali. Anyway, she wrote an article about it, and there's a bunch of people writing about it. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Everybody's speculating. So I'm going to throw in my speculation. Tom Taylor is going to be doing Dark Ages coming up in this fall, I believe, for Marvel. It's going to be it should be a very small event, but a very well advertised small event because Taylor has been killing it in the comic industry as of late with his stories. Marvel and DC copy off of each other all the time. One does not do it more than the other. They both copy off of each other very, very equally. And since they're going to be doing the Dark Ages where all the lights get shut out, Endless Winter sounds very similar to me. So that's going to be my speculation. It's going to be very similar to what we just saw or what we're about to see in Marvel. So bang, that's my speculation on that.
In No Road Home, they also took away the sun and they made it nighttime forever.
Yes, the endless night. So yeah, it might be based off of something like that. Like, the sun, I don't know, the earth gets moved away. Yeah, there's lots of things that they can do with it. Endless Winter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to talk Black Panther?
Yeah, I want to theorize why they're making all these comics available on Comixology. What's the idea here?
Why they're making them available for free?
For free, yeah.
Yes. Go on.
I think that the plan for the movie that was going to happen in 2022 is, of course, has to be reshuffled considering the news. Ryan Coogler didn't even know. So are they waiting to see, who wants to read the Storm and Black Panther Wedding, issue number 18? Who wants to read the Ta-Nehisi Coates, issue number 1? Like, where are people starting off? What are people reading when this is made free? Okay, the people have voted on Comixology. More people are picking up that comic, so we're going to take that story and adapt it. If they wanted to do the Namor story and they needed an extra nudge, then they could look at the Comixology report and be like, okay, look, everyone is reading the time that Black Panther and Namor had a thing. Or the Doom War story, if that's available. I'm not sure. I gotta imagine this is movie related or Chadwick Boseman death related.
I think it's more death related. You know who owns Comixology, right?
Amazon. Bezos.
Yes. So if Marvel Disney wanted to find out that information that you just mentioned, they'd have to pay or offer a favor. They'd have to try and work with them, make a deal with them somehow.
You're telling me that you don't think that Marvel or if DC has comics on Comixology, they don't have access to who's reading it? They don't have knowledge?
I doubt it's that specific. Like which comics are being read. I'd be pretty impressed, unless that's a part of their business contract.
It's gotta be. the data of who's downloading, who's buying. You gotta know that.
You'd figure. I don't know. I'd figure that Bezos would be smarter and keep that a little bit closer to the cuff. I don't know. I don't know. We always like to think that rich people are smarter than they actually are. No, usually they're just trust fund babies, or somebody who got real freaking lucky and couldn't reproduce that if they tried. Either way, whatever it is, I look at it more as in marketing. If something like this, like Chadwick Boseman died, people are going to want to read a bunch of Black Panther stuff now. I mean, I'm surprised. I haven't watched a single tribute. Disney Plus just put out a tribute. I had to read about that online because I'm not interested in seeing a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. You know what I'm saying? I know the history of the Black Panther probably better than most people do. I think Chadwick was an amazing person. I did just watch Marshall recently. That was a movie that he did. What do you call it? It was actually really a pretty good movie. It was more sensationalized than anything else. Just made me want to look up the history of Thurgood Marshall more than anything else. I'd probably talk to Sterling about him if I could find him on Discord, right? But because he was, Supreme Court justice. But no, I think that more people are interested in stuff like that, so they realize that this is a niche where it's like, okay, we'll make this stuff for free, get people used to the idea of reading comic books on our platform because, hey, this stuff is free. And then maybe they want to stick around, buy a membership or buy this and that comic book, whatever.
So you can't say you're profiting off the man's death, but
exactly.
You're creating a fan out of the man's death.
Absolutely. You're creating users. The first taste is always free, right?
Yeah.
So I personally, I think that's where it comes from. But yeah, if Marvel wanted to, they could absolutely go and ask, hey, which stories are people most interested in? But I don't know, I almost feel like it would be no different than just putting up a very open poll. Which story did you like the best? This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, or write in one, whatever.
Amazon and Sony are getting together, but not involving Marvel. You see, the Silk live action Marvel series is in works over there at Amazon. If Sony, this is the thing, if Amazon were to buy Sony, the rights do revert back to Disney or to Marvel. But if Sony and Amazon have this sort of deal where you can have our show, we'll license it out to you, then they get to keep the Spider-Man, rights to it. So a Cindy Moon Silk TV show is coming over to Amazon. It's in the
Hold on. Before we go any further, did you see it where did you see this reported?
Variety.
And they said that they already have a deal? That they already have a deal with Amazon?
It says Silk could soon be the next Marvel character to get her own TV series. Variety has learned that Sony, which controls the rights to Spider-Man, is developing a live-action series centered around Silk.
And they're shopping it to Amazon. Unless something came out within the past day.
Developing.
Yeah, developing. Which I also read that they were working with Marvel on it. That could be wrong. I'm not going to die on that hill. But either way, they're shopping it to Amazon and trying to see, could we get, this TV show over on Amazon? Either way, Marvel and DC, all of the companies are trying to get away from Netflix, which I find to be interesting. Forcing Netflix to do more of their own stuff and buy more of their own stuff to make themselves more relevant. I still watch Netflix more than I watch anybody else, but I also don't watch that much TV. But yeah, if they did get a deal through Amazon, that would be something. But I feel, like the deal is in development, or the TV show is in development, but they're shopping it to Amazon. I haven't seen Amazon actually bite yet. Because Amazon has actually been asking for a lot of stuff. They said that, at one particular case, they said, we want a Lord of the Rings TV show to come to Amazon. And they were going to actually produce a Lord of the Rings TV show based on the Second Age. So before the current Lord of the Rings stuff. This was like 2 years ago. And then they're like, we're going to drop that. But we're looking for something else that's very high fantasy, Lord of the Rings like. So the Conan properties moved forward and said, hey, how about Conan? They said, oh, we would love Conan. But it didn't work out. because IDW was already trying to do their own things, I think with Paramount, but don't quote me on that. Unless I'm right, then quote me all day. But they were trying to move forward with not a Thothamon, oh, seriously? Oh, are you freaking kidding me? How am I forgetting his name? Anyway, the main villain from the original Conan movie. And I've got his first appearances and everything. Wow, I'm highly disappointed in myself. Seth, he worshiper of Seth. God damn. Anyway,
okay, Bill.
Thulsa Doom. Thulsa Doom. His name is Thulsa Doom. James Earl Jones played him in the movie. Anyway, wow, horrible brain fart there. So anyway, they were planning on making that movie with G. Hanuman. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Hanuman, whatever. They were going to do that movie, and so there was a whole big mess everywhere, and they're just like, you know what? We're just going to throw our hands up on it. So they were still technically looking for a high fantasy show and whatnot. But Sony, no, I think that's a great idea for them to say, hey, let's try and shop our Spider-Verse someplace else. So it's funny, all the absolute overwhelming success of the MCU has shown Sony that they have more than just Spider-Man. Yeah. They have a Spider-Verse. So as long as they get their A game in order, then it should be okay.
And if you're new here, Sony, Kevin Feige says this back in last year when they agreed and they made a deal with the way that they're going to share the Spider-Man rights. He goes, Spider-Man is a powerful icon and hero whose story crosses all ages and audiences around the globe. He also happens to be the only hero with a superpower to cross cinematic universes. So as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you never know what surprises the future might hold. The significance of that statement is that Sony has their own universe, and whatever show happens in develop or shopping, it is not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is not on the Phase 4 slate. It is not canon. Mm-hmm. If you're a Marvel Studios fan.
Mm-hmm.
And correct. Bill, the fact that I have to say that means that there are people who believe that it is.
If I remember correctly, that was always my argument with you.
Yeah, I'm saying it for you, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The last thing we got on the docket is Marvel games. Oh, the Avengers game came out on a couple days ago.
Yeah, I've been seeing a couple of people playing it on Twitch. Very slow game for Twitch. I couldn't sit and watch it. Just
Twitch is all about that host. It's not about the game.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. So I guess I just found some really horrible hosts. I've been watching a lot of the hell is the name of that game? It's a scary game. You have to do some stuff.
Minecraft?
Oh, I love Minecraft. But no, it's a horror game actually, where these people are like, you're a detective, a female detective, and you have to try and do detective work at your home computer, but then somebody, like, there's these two guys always trying to break in. You got to keep going around to this place and that place and whatnot. And just every time I find somebody, I just subscribed to somebody today. I don't even know who
the fact that you have to say female detective is like, it shows that that's a male field that I think of.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's important because, like, the guy, you're not allowed to fight the guy. If he gets into the house, that's your ass. You're dead. Apparently you can't even call the police. It's really weird. I am wondering what was the name of this freaking game anyway?
Is it a Marvel game?
No, it's not, unfortunately. It's
there goes my interests.
Yeah, I guess so. Ah, that's disappointing. Can't remember the name of the game. Somebody will say it in the chat and they'll be correct. Anyway, so yeah, Marvel games. First off, Avengers, Infinity Quest, the pinball machine. Yeah, I know you don't care. You probably never even played pinball before, have you?
I played pinball on a computer.
Does not count because you can't get that tilt feature. There's a lot of times you'll be like, you get so excited when you're hitting those paddles. Sometimes you got like the two paddles on both sides. You have the flippers and you're like, and you're like, no, and you shake it and all of a sudden the game says tilt and it just eats your quarter. It's like you tried to tilt the ball to go your way. So no. It's like, what? No, don't tilt it. So it's a good way to make sure you don't break the game because the whole thing is made out of glass. Anyhow, it's an actual life-size game that you can buy. There's a premium version of it apparently also, and I'm telling you, man, I want to get in a place with a basement one of these days. I promise you I am buying that thing. Yeah, but it's going to be $15,000. I don't know what the price is, but like $15,000. Yeah, I'll be saving up because I want a pinball machine in the worst way. And freaking Marvel. Oh, forget about it. Yes, I would definitely do that. But that's not the only game that's available. There are also Marvel apps available right now. And they're both learning apps, which I think is actually pretty cool. There's this one called Kahoot, which I've been toying around with. It's for older learners. There's basically a bunch of quizzes and tests. So you have like 30 seconds to answer each question. And there's a whole bunch of, it's like Jeopardy, except you see them coming. You can see like it's science questions. And so I guess it's mostly earth science. There's physics, which should technically be a science. There's the maths. And there's a whole bunch of different categories, and you're able to, like, the Marvel characters there, and they'll ask questions that are kind of related to superheroes, and there's a bunch of superheroes on there. So it could actually get your older kids, your teenagers and whatnot interested in learning a couple things while you're at home.
Yeah, that's another way they're going to get the kids into the comic book world.
Exactly, which is why they're happy to give those licenses out. So it gets people to come over to their game, to their app, and Marvel is just like, yeah, character facial recognition of my characters and the costumes. Yeah. Yes, my trademark characters.
Shoot, it's over.
But those older learners.
Huh?
Yep. Oh, I already got the Halloween costumes for my kid. I got a Mando and a Venom.
I was checking the date. That's what I was looking down for. After you said that, I'm like, "Is it Halloween season?" Yeah, it's getting
Dude,
close.
It already starts September 1st, and September 2nd, I got the costumes. I'm not clowning around with those things being taken and them having to, like, do you want to be a hot dog or a horse? Like, there's nothing left. It's like here's like the body of a Spider-Man, but the masks have all been gone. I can put like a horse head on top of you or something. Like, come on. I got the costumes. We're good right now, right? I already posted a picture on Instagram. We're good.
I hope Dan Slott is not listening to this, or Christos Gage. That's the new Spider-Verse character, the Spider Horse.
The Spider Horse. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. They also have another game to get after those younger kids, though. The Marvel Hero Tales from Quato Games. I see Quato and I'm just like, you mean for like that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where like he goes into space and the thing that comes out of the dude's stomach and it's like, I'm Quato. It's like, ew, you're freaky. Anyway, what do you call it? This is basically going to be focusing on storytelling and vocabulary skills for your kids. And I haven't actually looked at that one yet, but I'm going to be downloading it, especially if it's free. Yeah, I'm going to be downloading that and checking it out because that sounds interesting.
Marvel loves the kids.
Right? They love the kids' money, the parents' money. They love all the monies. That was a fun podcast.
Yeah. Chill's headcanon is canceled because there's no making sense of where Wolverine was during this Kotari invasion. Apparently he had enough time to change out of his Fantastic Four suit to go over to the Empire book or the X-Men book, where he was in the background with Cyclops. Now, I can explain it's the She-Cyclops from Children of the Atom, but I don't know what he was doing on the other side of Magma and that image. And then I think in the first Empire X-Men book, we saw Cyclops send a message to the young Vulcan, and he's like, "Yo, we're on the Shi'ar, we're on vacation." And wasn't Wolverine there also? Wasn't he? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, he was
there, wasn't he?
He was. He was on vacation.
And then if you read a Wolverine book and the X-Force book, I guess that you can say that wasn't happening during Empire, but still, very complicated. So Chill's headcanon is canceled. There is no making sense of
it. There really isn't. It's senseless.
I'm like an NBA player. Like,
everybody's on strike now.
Which I support, and I think is great that they are using their power and their influence.
Absolutely. Hopefully the wrestlers will do something very similar. What?
It's the end of the podcast, so I'm not even.
Okay. Anyway, so we'll talk to all you guys later. Professor Bill and Chillmonger. Make sure you're subscribing to Chillmonger. Like, what's going on? What's going on? If you're not subscribed to Chillmonger, what's up? Anyway,
what's
we'll talk
the
to you.
Point of YouTube?
Right? Cancel. We're canceling YouTube. Outrage culture. Boom. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill and Chillmonger, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.